It's no secret that Donald Trump's mental and physical health is essentially in the toilet. The guy is getting more feeble by the day, his brain is deteriorating by the day, and these are all visible, things that we can see, things that we notice. The bruises, the cankles, the inability to stand like a normal human being, the lack of balance, the tripping up the stairs, which he mocks Biden for to this day. He does it himself. But all of this paints the picture of a very feeble 79-year-old man who may not be long for the world. And it appears that even Donald Trump himself knows it. Trump has repeatedly mused about the afterlife recently, which of course is somebody who, whether conscious or not, knows they're kind of at the end. They will start to spend more and more time thinking about the afterlife. And Trump has made several comments over the last few months, as recently as last week, about getting into heaven. But during these talks about getting into heaven, Donald Trump also admitted that he is a horrible person and that he makes a choice to be a horrible person. Let me read you his most recent comments on the matter. He did this last week when he was talking about an America Praise initiative for the 250th birthday of the country next year. And he said, quote, there's no reason to be good. Like, that's the whole point. That's the big takeaway. That is the one sentence I want you to remember, but I'll finish. I want to be good because you want to prove to God you're good so you can go to that next step, right? That's very important to me. I think it's really very important. I felt for a long time that if a country doesn't have religion, doesn't have faith, doesn't have God, it's going to be very hard to be a good country. There's no reason to be good. And before you think, well, maybe this was a slip of the tongue, he said this last year, or this summer, on Fox News. He said, I'm hearing I'm not doing well. I hear I'm really at the bottom of the totem pole. And then he told Todd Starnes, conservative talk radio host, quote, people get punished if they're not good, right? If you don't think about that, if you're not a believer and you believe you go nowhere, what's the reason to be good, really? There has to be some kind of a report card up there someplace, like let's go to heaven, let's get into heaven, and it's sort of a beautiful thing. So he has admitted multiple times that as a human being, there's no reason to be good. Like, why not be as evil as humanly possible? Oh, yeah, God will strike you down. Okay. So my fear of God and my desire to get into heaven and get that eternal reward is the only reason I'm good. Because if it weren't for that, what? You'd be out stealing, taking food away from the hungry, not helping the sick, turning away the migrants, locking up people, right? You'd be doing those things that, oh, wait, you already do. Trump is not a good person. And this is an admission that, yeah, he chooses to be bad because every now and then he's not thinking about the afterlife. But then he thinks about it and he's like, okay, well, now I got to be good for a couple days. That'll get on my report card, as he calls it. If you're a good person and you do good things, but you only behave that way because you are afraid of God's vengeance, then I have news for you. 1, you're not a good person. 2, they actually call that out in the Bible, okay? And you're going to hell. So all your work to pretend to be a good person is still going to land you in the pit of suffering. That's actually how that works. And if you believe in nothing, why be good? Like, to me, that statement, I can't even wrap my head around it because that's not something a normal person would consider. It's something a psychopath or a sociopath would, right? It's something that somebody without a moral compass would think, like, oh, well, there is no afterlife. I'll just go kill people. Like, no, that's not a normal thought. I'll just steal from everybody. Not a normal thought. You be a good person because it's what you do. Not because you feel compelled to do it, but because it's just how things are. It's just how you are. Like, it's just such a natural thing that honestly, I can't even explain it, you know? I don't get how anybody can look at this convicted felon, you know, a guy with all kinds of accusations from women against him too, a guy who's broken maybe every single commandment, and think that he is the epitome of a guy that's going to go to heaven. Or that he's even just a good person in general. Being good is not something you do out of fear. Not killing people is not what you do because you're afraid of God's wrath or jail. It's because you know it's wrong. And if you don't know that it's wrong, if the only thing stopping you from doing bad things is fear of punishment, then you're not a good person. I can't believe I even have to explain that, but I hope MAGA listens to that message. If you're suppressing urges to go commit crimes, you're not a good person for suppressing them. You're a disturbed person for having those urges in the first place. Thanks for watching, everyone. You know, we're inching closer and closer to 1 million subscribers, and we're aiming to hit that goal before the year closes. So if you aren't subscribed to the channel, please do so, and don't forget to like, comment, and share. Thanks for joining us as we head towards this huge milestone.